Hello and welcome to CZenStar, This Week in Star Citizen. Today is April 10th, 2015. I am Citizen Ed of CZenStarNews.com, where we put the citizen first. Each week we like to recognize individual contributors from the community as Citizen Stars. This time we'd like to highlight Vladimir Kuznetsov, who created the awe-inspiring video Homecoming. Standout original music and voiceover make this truly remarkable. This piece was a bit older. It was featured in the CIG Fan Spotlight February 18th, but I had reason to watch it again, no less impressive. Thank you, Vladimir. Remember, if you want to know more about any of these stories, navigate your browser to CZenStarNews.com and locate the latest This Week in Star Citizen.
This Week in Star Citizen.
Citizen Star Teller continues with his renders and hijinks, heavy on the spacecraft this week. Definitely check those out. Chris Roberts dropped a ton of new Squadron 42 information in the last 10 for the chair. This was a bit controversial, as he mentioned that the Episode 2 was available free for backers up to the $6 million mark, which left a lot of people scratching their heads and trying to figure out how that squared with the previous discussions about it. Ben Lesnick went on the forums and discussed this, did some clarifications. It turns out that Episode 1 is indeed as much as they promised for Squadron 42, the free release that comes in your packages, and they had always planned to do mission packs afterwards. They've elevated these mission packs into full-blown episodes, and Episode 2, which coincidentally is the episode that the plot was spoiled by the Blaster article recently that surrounds Admiral Bishop, and it is called Behind Enemy Lines. So at any rate, after reviewing Ben's clarification and the funding goals, I have to say CIG is not breaking any promises by structuring the release this way, even if it was a bit confusing in regards to the previous communications. It's widely reported that Squadron 42 has been expanded into a 3-part trilogy. This is in the games media, which is true. Mission pack plans have been scaled up to full-blown episodes, as I said. We still don't know exactly how Squadron 42 Episode 1 will be released. Seems unlikely it'll be all finished before the end of the year when they would like to have it done. Will it be delayed or broken up into parts? Good question. Chris is in England now doing a marathon performance capture for 3 months. Cast is set, but they are keeping that close to the vest for now. They're promising that we'll be pretty excited about some of the fan favorites that will be showing up.
This Week in Star Citizen.
Patch 1.1.1 is launching as we speak. This is still Star Citizen Alpha, of course. Need to remind people of that since 1.0 sounds like a release product. The feedback from the PTU is the sledges are still overpowered, but they shoot less frequently. The Gladiator is, of course, flyable. Gladiator, Super Hornet, and Cutlass can all take second-player gunners. So we should have that to play over the weekend. Hopefully that will go without undue glitches. Also coming up, FPS Star Marine. It has been confirmed that there has been delays due to the back-end work caused by the 1.1 troubles. This was mentioned by Ben in this week's Reverse the Verse. There is new art coming out and new commentary from various places. Everybody seems to be really enthused about it. We have high hopes that it will be released before the end of this month, but it might not be, or so soon after. And hopefully it'll really impress us all. A lot of CIG staffing news. One of the highlights, archivist Sherry Helberg. I was pleasantly surprised to see widespread excitement about this hire. I figured I'd be one of the few that realized how important this is, but I'm seeing it all over that People like Sherry and realize that her work in wrangling up all the legacy information into a coherent database or coherent wiki would be very important. This will presumably become the basis for the Galactopedia. She was interviewed in this week's ATV by Will of the writing staff. Darian Vorlik talked about his new co-worker, Lisa Ohanian, in the SCA interview. Apparently, Darian is focusing now on Arena Commander, and Lisa is taking over as producer of the ship pipeline. So that's good to know. ATV featured an interview with Austin artists Patrick Thomas, Vanessa Landeros, Josh Coons, and Lee Americoon. At least a few new faces there, and that interview is worth checking out. Also, in staffing news, we got to see an inside CIG piece about Frankfurt. It seems that Europe is uniting under the Foundry 42 brand. A surprising number of the team has been working on Star Citizen since the beginning. Many of this team, or perhaps all of them, are ex-Crytek who collaborated with the original trailer and the Kickstarter project.
This week in Star Citizen.
Since we're speaking about Crytek, there's big news on the Crytek front. Kotaku is reporting Amazon is the mystery licensee that they've been talking about and paid around 50 to 70 million for something, or perhaps everything. One wonders if this relates to Crytek's sudden all-out efforts on VR. Amazon's known to have been interested, but doesn't have a good story about VR at this point. This is all unconfirmed aside from this original Kotaku story, although you'll see it around because many sites are actually running it, just based on the Kotaku source. Kotaku, and this particular writer, Jason Schreier, got it right before when reporting on Crytek's previous difficulties. So clearly Kotaku has some good sources on this story. Confidence is fairly high that it's accurate. We also want to wish a warm congrats to the Wingman. The Descent Underground Kickstarter crossed the funding lines 3 hours before close, and then nearly slid back under. But it rallied and closed above 600K, which was the target mark, and they got themselves a project. Get her done, guys. Back on the Star Citizen front, Ben forgot the Caterpillar, which got him a fan-made 3D print. So Ben was very excited about this, promises not to forget the Caterpillar ever again, but he's now on a mission to forget every other ship, so people will send him 3D models. So help him out with that, will you? Coming soon, watch out for Xeon Space Plant reveal. Genesis Starliner is under design, and so we should get a look at that fairly soon. Hullapalooza is coming. The Hull series will go into concept sale soon. A lot of space truckers are looking forward to that. And of course, more Star Marine soon. Please, soon. TM. Or no TM. Exploration Deep Dive. Breaking news update, April 11th, 2015. 1.1.1 has been deployed. Multiplayer has some serious problems, but they are working on it. Clearly, DevOps has some room for improvement on the deployment process, but we should remember that this is a moving target with changes being made constantly. What I like to call the heavy breathing deep dive has been released, a discussion on FPS stances and the effects of breathing and fatigue on accuracy. Very interesting stuff. In a letter from the chair, Star Citizen's benevolent dictator, Chris Roberts, has decreed a change to the release designation. 1.1.1 is a release of the Star Citizen Alpha. A big relief to all of those who spend a lot of time explaining things to people new to the game. Like myself, for example. It's good to be officially moving from the pre-alpha stage into alpha. I love it when an alpha comes together. Let's get Star Marine in there, Planetside Social, Arena Commander 2.0, and edging into Persistent Universe MMO, all within the next coming months. It's exciting times, I tell you. Now on sale in the Pledge Store, Super Hornet and Gladiator. My old favorite ship, and what is quickly becoming my new favorite. Gladiator handles impressively well. I did not expect this carrier-based bomber to be so strong a dogfighter. Both are going for $165 for a standalone ship, US dollars of course, and surprisingly there is a $0 CCU to switch between them. And that's the news for now. This has been Citizen Ed of CZenStarNews.com. Hope to see you next week in Star Citizen. CZenStarNews.com, where we put the citizens first. Engage with Star Citizen today. Follow the news, both development and in lore, or write your own articles, features, and fiction. We take citizen submissions. There's room on staff, or become a partner. You can let us help develop your brand. CZenStarNews.com, where the citizen is the star, chronicling your stories. The history of the verse is unfolding now, real time. Don't wait until 2946 to be a part of Star Citizen. CZenStarNews.com. Would you like to know more?